Hey guys, well, I am trying something today I never have. I like doing stuff that I've never done before because it helps me learn, but I've never owned a side-by-side before, so this is the first one I've ever owned. And I know this is a common thing in four-wheelers and other ATVs, but I've never had to replace one, and this is the CV axle broke. The front passenger side, right front broke, and check this out. So, as you can see here, let me get out of the way here. So, as you can see, the CV axle there broke. And the problem I'm going to have, I think, is this is pretty muddy and frozen mud, because it's like 28 degrees right now, that I'm going to have is getting it all cleaned up. And I purchased this. It's Sixity, and there's mostly favorable reviews. I did see some bad ones, mainly on four-wheelers, but the side-by-side reviews I saw on it were pretty good. So there is the CV axle. Never done it before, so this will be a new project for me, which I kind of actually am a little bit excited about, because I probably will have to do this again. So let's give it a shot. Let's get this cleaned up first. Well, I ran into my first issue, and it's the easiest issue. That nut, I cannot believe I don't have a socket set that fits that nut. So, I need something else from the store anyway, so I'm going to buy a set of sockets that will fit that. But I am excited because the hardest part of this job, as I was looking, was getting the CV shaft out of the transmission, and that thing came right out. There it is. So that was the one thing I was dreading. Everything else, I thought taking this off and everything else was going to be easy, but that's going to be the challenge, just to get a socket set. I'll take it. So I'm going to head down and grab one and then get back on this, but I'm pretty excited that pulled out pretty easy. That was my biggest fear. So let's go get a socket set. All right, well, I ran up to Lowe's and got a 1 1/16 inch socket, and gonna try to break that loose. So let's get it loose. All right, got it all out. That was actually pretty easy. And most people said the hardest part is getting that CV axle out, and that was actually pretty easy. So now I'm going to take the hub off there and mount the other one. Looks like I just got to take off 3 bolts there to remove it. So let's get that done. Alright guys, hey, want to show you as I'm going here how to take this hub assembly off. If you can see there, that's your steering rod here, and you're just going to pop that off here. There's a cotter pin underneath and then a nut. There's a nut there, and the cotter pin is right there. See if I can focus in on it. Well, anyway, cotter pin goes through the bottom. You pop that out, and then you're going to take your hub or your brake caliper off, and there's 2 bolts. There's one right here. Let me try to get in the back here so you can see it better. There's 2 bolts. There's one right there, and there's one right there that I already have taken out. So I'll pop those off, and then I'll show you how to take the hub off. Once you remove your brake caliper, just a couple things to remember. See that brake line? You want to make sure it comes out on the same side. Like if you were to thread that through and then come over the top or something when you hook it back up, where the brake line is, you want to make sure it goes under. So I just set it up on here so I know it goes right back on there. but let me zoom back out. So when this is here, I know it just hooks right back there. If you can see what I'm saying, that brake line, you don't want it, you want it to come the same way, not over. So okay, once you do that, once you get your hub off there, if you can see, that comes right off after you take your caliper off. So you're going to turn this, and if you can see, there's a bolt right here. I have it loose. You want to take that bolt all the way out. Okay, so you'll take that all the way out. You'll leave the bottom one in, and so let's do that. I'll take that out real quick and show you. All right, once you get that bolt out, if you can see that there, there's the bolt. The other one's down in the bottom. What you're going to do is give this a little tap. See it pulling out there? Just pop it and it should drop right down there. And there your hub assembly is all off, and we'll install the new CB axle. All right, well, when I started this project, the CV shaft pulled right out of the front differential there pretty easily, which I was pretty happy about. So I'm gonna clean that up a little bit and you know, just wipe it off, make sure there's no dirt in here, and then I'm going to come over here, and I got my grease gun here, and I'm just gonna put a little grease on here. Let me kind of hard to do it with holding the camera, so let's see if I can. Just gonna put a little grease on there and then rub it in. All right, I cleaned that up a little bit around there, and I'm gonna put the end of the CV shaft in. Whoop, off the camera there. And what you want to do is kind of give it a good push, and then give it a little pull, make sure it's snapped in there, and that snap ring snapped in there. So we are set. Now we'll hook the front end up here, the front hub assembly. So let me get the camera situated. All right, now we're gonna hook this front part up. Man, it's nippy out here today. The old hands are cold. So we'll take that off. And now that you have this unhooked, you're gonna kind of turn it to the side and like so. Drop that in there. And let's see, let me adjust my camera a little bit here. And if you can see that, then we'll get this mounted back up and we can slide the hub back on. So I'll get this mounted up real quick here and get that bolt back through, tap that up, and adjust my camera a little bit so we can, so you'll be able to see a little bit better. All right, got her all hooked back up, and now we're going to put our hub back on, and it's right here, and all we're going to do is slide that right over the splines on there. And as you can see, let me grab the camera here. Your end should be out there like that. And we'll turn it to make sure the hub's turning in there. And looks like we got a good connection. So we'll get all this put back on and put all back together, and you're just going to want to assemble it the same way you took it apart. Pretty easy. Just throw those two bolts back in the caliper, your steering rod, hook up to there. So we'll get all that hooked up, and then I'm also going to grease up a lot of these fittings while I'm under here and see if it works. Let me get a motor in there. Got it all hooked up. Now we're going to put our pin through, and we're just going to bend that down and around like that. That way I'll keep her on. So looks like everything turns pretty good. So next step is gotta start it up or get the tire on, see if it works. I'll grease some of these pins while I'm up here. I have everything off. Get them all greased up. And there it comes. All right, everything that I needed to do this job is right here. And just some sockets you'll need. You'll definitely need an 1" and 1/16 socket. And then this is for the lug nuts on the tire. That's a 3/4 inch socket. So you'll need that. I have a 1/2 inch and a 3/8 wrench I used. You'll need a 15mm socket. That is one of your main sockets, and then just a crescent wrench. I had a breaker bar just to break the lug nuts off, and also a nice rubber mallet. You could use a regular hammer as well, but you know, just to be safe, a nice rubber mallet, and then a couple screwdrivers, and those I only really used, and the needle nose to pull the cotter pins out. All right, tires on. Moment of truth. Let's take this bad boy out. Well, let's put her in gear. Put the seatbelt on. Well, we're moving. Take her back in. Let's take her in the field. So far, so good. trick here. Shouldn't be super muddy back here because it's been pretty cold out, so it should be pretty frozen. We'll have some wet spots like in here, but overall it should be hopefully frozen. Alright, well, so far so good. There it is. Did some plowing, didn't do much bahan yet, but we'll get some of that in, but so far holding up. We'll see when I do some mudding with it. There it is, all done.